sister mocked me for being unmarried at 40. When her perfect husband got caught stealing from his company and went to jail, she begged me for money for a lawyer. I just laughed. My younger sister had spent years pitying me for my sad, lonely existence, while flaunting her picture-perfect marriage at every family gathering. I'd chosen to focus on my career as an environmental lawyer, travel extensively, and maintain meaningful friendships rather than pursue marriage. My sister, 3 years younger, had married her college sweetheart at 23, bought the suburban house with the white picket fence, and had 2 kids by 30. According to her, this was the only valid life template. Every holiday dinner became an exercise in endurance. Still no special someone? She'd ask loudly enough for our entire family to hear. The concern in her voice never matched the smug look in her eyes. When I mentioned a promotion or a trip to Iceland, she'd smile condescendingly and say, well, that's nice, but it's not the same as having a family. Last Christmas was the worst. I'd just turned 40, and she'd brought me a birthday gift, a cat calendar and a book titled Finding Love After 40. The entire family watched as I unwrapped it. Some of us were just meant to be cat ladies, she said, patting my hand. And that's okay too. Her husband sat beside her, nodding along. He worked in finance, wore tailored suits, and drove a car that cost more than my annual salary. My sister never missed an opportunity to mention their latest luxury purchase or exclusive vacation. They'd just returned from Aspen, and she'd made sure to pass her phone around showing photos of their ski chalet. What she didn't mention was how rarely he came home before midnight, or the strange perfume I once noticed on his collar during Thanksgiving dinner. I kept these observations to myself, not my circus, not my monkeys. I'd been setting aside money for years, a habit my sister found ridiculous since I had no one to leave it to. I lived comfortably but modestly in a downtown apartment, investing wisely and building a substantial nest egg. Financial independence meant freedom to me. Everything changed 3 months ago. My phone rang at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. My sister was sobbing so hard I could barely understand her. Her perfect husband had been embezzling from his company for years. The fancy car, the luxury vacations, the designer clothes, all funded by stolen money. The FBI had been building a case for months, and they'd finally arrested him at his office that afternoon. He was facing serious federal charges with a minimum of 10 years if convicted. They froze our accounts, my sister whimpered. The house, the cars, everything. Within days, the story was everywhere. Local news covered the arrest extensively, detailing how he'd stolen nearly $2 million over 5 years. My sister and her children moved in with our parents temporarily. Her perfect life shattered overnight. 2 weeks later, she showed up at my apartment. Her eyes were swollen from crying, but there was a familiar, entitled look on her face. I need money for his lawyer, she announced, stepping inside without waiting for an invitation. $300,000. The good attorneys all want retainers. I nearly choked on my tea. $300,000? You have it, she said, not asking but stating. I know you do. You've always been so cheap, never spending on anything worthwhile. Like embezzled vacations? I couldn't help asking. Her face hardened. That's not fair. I didn't know where the money came from. Did you ever wonder how a mid-level manager afforded Aspen ski trips and Rolex watches? You're just jealous because I had something real while you chose to be alone, she snapped. I took a slow sip of my tea, studying my sister's face. No, I chose freedom, and now you're not free, are you? Will you help us or not? She demanded. I thought about all the Christmas dinners, the backhanded comments, the pity disguised as concern. I thought about her smug smile when she gave me that cat calendar. No, I said simply. But we're family, she protested, genuine shock in her eyes. Funny how family suddenly matters when you need my sad spinster money.